Okay, that's really weird. I had my phone plugged in this power outlet, and I was getting this, like, it felt like there was something scratching my ear when I had my phone up to my ear, but I think there's a little electric shock going through this sucker all the way up to the ear. Everybody say hi.
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 Oh, we made it in the van.
Woo.
And we're leaving our beautiful resort of Para del Fuego, and we're on our way to PV. We're gonna pick up Vera and then go to see our hotel. So next stop on the road. Hey there, Pablo Galvez here, Agent Upgrade. I'm on vacation. I'm in Mexico. I'm in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We're having a really good time here. But I wanted to talk to you today about working as a realtor when you're on vacation. And the reason I'm working is because I like to really maintain control of my business. So right now I have an offer that came in late last night around 11:30 p.m. I happened to be up, and so I just responded back that we'll deal with it in the morning. And I wanted to go through with you the process of how I deal with an offer when I'm in a foreign country, when I'm remote, and some of the important things about that. So stay tuned, and we'll give you all the tips that I have on working as a realtor when you're on vacation. Okay, so a couple of tips. Number one is your cell phone. Your cell phone, you're going to want to have a really good data plan on your cell phone. I happen to be part of, with our Realtor Association, our real estate board, we have a cell phone plan that's part of the collective group of realtors. We all got together and basically pulled together for a corporate plan. And I have a roam like at home. And if you're in Canada, if you're with Rogers or TELUS or Bell, I think all of them have some sort of roam like at home where you can be traveling abroad and be able to use your cell phone. So that's the number one thing, is the ability to be able to use your cell phone while you're abroad. It's gonna cost me a couple $100 to use my cell phone while I'm down here, but it's worth it to be able to stay in touch. I could replace with a separate SIM card or something like that, but to me that just didn't make sense, because I wouldn't be able to receive phone calls, and I've got to be able to kind of continue keeping up the work that I have and servicing the clients that I have while I'm on vacation. So that is number one, is having a good cell phone plan and understanding how it works, making sure you can turn on your roaming data and not feel like you're going to get really hosed on the cost of it afterwards. So that's tip number one. It's nothing like working when you're in shorts and a t-shirt. It's so fantastic. Tip number two is make sure you have, when you're booking, ask for a place that has good, solid, reliable internet. I'm in Mexico and internet is spotty at best. There's a couple of companies usually that run internet. Make sure that you do a little bit of research into the place that you're staying and that they have some decent internet and or Wi-Fi that is available, so that you can actually do some contracts and send and receive larger files. That's number two, is make sure you have reliable internet before you book a place. I happen to be in a kind of a home office in the place that we've rented. We rented a almost like an Airbnb, but it's a pretty nice luxury condo facing the water, and it has very strong, reliable internet. In the bedroom where I am, it's very weak, so I'm going to be working with the hotel manager and see if we can get some kind of Wi-Fi booster and kick up the internet a little bit here. But that's number two. Okay, number three, the most important aspect of traveling and working as a realtor is making sure that you've got things set up back at home. So my home base is Calgary, Canada, and I've got my assistant Priscilla. She is amazing, and she is back home, and she's helping me with a lot of my things. So I actually have her accessing my work email as well, so she monitors and sees what's going on, and she's always able to just help coordinate things on the ground. And then while I was in Calgary before vacation, I coordinated with one of the local agents who's also in my brokerage to help cover some business for me, anything that I physically needed to be at a property inspection or a walkthrough of any sort that I had to actually have a representative there on site. I made sure I had some coverage. I also trained that person on who I have currently as clients, what their expectations are, what kind of challenges they might face. I dealt with most of the communication still with all my clients, but when it comes to a certain type of, we do a lot of new construction, so the walkthroughs and how to deal with that as far as representing the builder, I made sure that I went over those things in advance so that myself and that other realtor were on the same page and we're communicating back and forth. So that's number 3, is making sure that you've got good coverage back home before you go and you've got that planned out. Okay, number 4 is the technology that you bring. So I like to bring a laptop. I use a Microsoft Surface laptop because it's extremely thin, very lightweight. I can slip it into a carry-on and really, in fact, a lot of the security check-ins, they don't even really want you to open this as a laptop because it's more of a tablet. So it's very convenient for going through security. It's fully featured. It has, I use Microsoft Office and that whole Office suite. So I'm able to open up a full version of Microsoft Office and get all the contracts and documents and everything that I need, I can get on there. But I also have a lot of apps on my cell phone that make it easy for me if I happen to be out at a restaurant or strolling somewhere and I need to send a contract quickly or get something signed. I have the ability on my phone to do all of that as well. So number 4 is going to be the software and hardware that you choose to bring for technology. And for me, it's my trusty laptop, my cell phone with all the apps that I would need to be able to do the job that I do. I like to bring a detached mouse, because a wireless mouse. This is a Bluetooth mouse from Amazon. See if I can link to it below. And that just keeps me going. That just keeps me with the ability to work remotely. So I've got just about everything I need in a compact package for traveling. Okay, number 5. We received, like I mentioned earlier, an offer on a property last night. I was actually negotiating. This is the third or fourth contract that we've negotiated while on vacation in the last 10 days. So I'm getting kind of good at it. I like to get up and get my work done usually before the kids are awake. That way, once the kids are awake, I can actually focus on the vacation part and spending some time enjoying family and friends here. But it's the morning still. It's about 9:15 in the morning, and I just going to go through this offer. What I do is I have my assistant Priscilla. She will actually create what we call a negotiation log, and I can fill you in on what a negotiation log is. It's something that I've invented and developed, and it's a beautiful sheet that helps me kind of keep track of the negotiations of a contract. So she's created that and emailed it to me. So I'll be opening it up here on my computer. And then she's also created what we call a summary. And that summary is a templated email that we create for the sellers, and it goes over, we attach a copy of the contract, and it goes over a summary as well of all the important highlighted areas of the contract, so that a client, if they receive an offer from us, they're going to get a summary of the offer, some of my recommendations, and they'll get a copy of the entire offer in the background. And I have them review all of this in advance and then call me as soon as they've had a chance to review the offer and my recommendations. And this is a great way to do it. We've done this now for a few years. We templated this. Priscilla also, because she's been my assistant for so long, she puts a second set of eyes on it. So just because I'm on holidays doesn't mean I can't be sharp as a realtor and make sure that I'm representing my clients. But I just make sure that the offer is solid and that if there's any kind of special clauses or anything that I need to look at. But Priscilla is also doing the same thing for me, which is great because it allows me to basically be that second set of eyes and make sure that the terms and the conditions and everything in the contract are going to be favorable for my client in the long run. So I'm going to review the offer, review the contract, review the negotiation log. Once I'm comfortable with everything, then I'll email this to my clients with the summary, and then I'll wait for them to give me a call. And if I don't hear from them, usually in about 2 hours or so, then I follow up with a phone call or a text and say, give me a call once you've reviewed the offer. And basically then we start the negotiations, and that's when I'll record everything in the negotiation log, and I'll make sure that we have a really good process back and forth, and we communicate back and forth with the other agent until we come to the price and terms that we agree to. Then we'll get it all signed up. That might be a little bit different in our jurisdiction compared to your jurisdiction. In our market, which is actually a really easy place to do real estate, I have to say, after looking at many other agents in other markets and how they sell real estate. We get an offer, written offer of course, and then we negotiate back and forth verbally, typically, until we agree to the price and terms verbally, which is not admissible in court, if you will. It's not legit. But then once we agree verbally, then we'll put it together in writing, and the realtors will review that in writing, and that way we only have one kind of contract that we really need to focus on at the end of the day. I love this system, by the way. And then we'll just put it in writing and send it into conveyancing, and then it'll be a conditional sale. In other jurisdictions, it's back and forth counteroffers in writing, which is fine too. And in that case, you just have to do a little bit more back and forth. Great thing about working remotely in 2020, which is what it is right now, is we have electronic signing. And electronic signing has been a real grace and a real savior for us, because we're able to send a contract out for signatures from Mexico and have one of my clients in Calgary sign, and maybe their spouse is on visiting parents or relatives in Saskatchewan, and they can be signing there. My client's signing in Calgary, I'm in Mexico, and we can all sign the contract and get it put into one envelope using the power of electronics and digital signatures, which is great. It's really, really great. So that's my next step. I'm going to review the contract. I'm going to make sure everything's good. I'm going to send this off, and I'll catch you right after I've done that. Okay, contract looks good. Nice, cleanly written contract. And now I'm going through the summary that Priscilla prepared, make sure that everything aligns with the contract. So yes, I review everything and just make sure that there are no issues. So now, reviewing the email before it goes out to my clients. Everything looks good, so I'm going to now send this off to my clients, Maud and Wade, and I usually send it to both of them. I BCC myself so that I get my own recommendations come back into my own inbox so that I can review it if I needed to. And the next step is I'm going to fill out my negotiation log and make sure that I've got myself 100% prepared for the negotiations, which will happen today. Okay, that's it for now. Next step is, so we just put on like 8 new listings. We have another listing coming up. I've got a contract to negotiate. We've got a lot going on, and I'm on holiday, so I need to now take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna go have some breakfast. It's a late breakfast, but I'm gonna go have some breakfast and wait for my clients to give me a call on the negotiation that I'm doing right now. And then we'll come back and probably get some more work done soon. Talk to you soon.